Lizard Farm 2, Rise of the Computer Automated Agents by user 391.
This is a work of parody or rather satire. Nothing in this book is to be taken as literal fact. It is only meant to certainly contain emotional truths. The author of this book has released it into the public domain. Share and duplicate without restrictions, please. With an army of me, we invent our enemies. Man versus machine and the dirty second hands. Switch for general information. This is a story told through poems in the style of a Broadway musical. Tiny Tim, a slave who worked on Lizard Farm, decided to take action against his workplace by saving a Bitcoin and buying the company. Destitute and stricken by heartbreak, the former owner of the Lizard Company turned to the dark arts with quantum computing and his atomic cola machine. He was able to travel back through time in hopes of reversing the actions of Tiny Tim, who he mistakenly calls Tyler. He awakens in a park somewhere in the past where he meets Martha, Mary May. The rest of the story is left to the tides of fate. Our enemies, man versus machine and the dirty second hand. Switch for general information. This is a story told for poems in the style of a Broadway musical. Tiny Tim, a slave who worked on Lizard Farm, decided to take action against his workplace by saving a Bitcoin and buying the company. Destitute and stricken by heartbreak, the former owner of the Lizard Company turned to the dark arts with quantum computing and his atomic cola machine. He was able to travel back through time in hopes of reversing the actions of Tiny Tim, who he mistakenly calls Tyler. He awakens in a park somewhere in the past where he meets Martha, Mary May. The rest of the story is left to the tides of fate. The glory of the tides of fate.
This night was like any other night. There was not even a whisper, a guide to start the experience of homelessness. Martha Mary sat alone in the cold, a chill with a spell, a chill to the bone. The air breath of her horizon, visible shivers, but suddenly there was a light. Memories of times before, the expenses of life, price that novel life. She waited in dreams and pain of her life. Asleep gripped Martha, Mary May, straight at the throat. Suddenly in the dark there's appeared a glimmer of hope. Faint glittering sparks and a small crater on the ground. There stood a kind-looking older man, and he was looking around. He was innocent as any innocent child, seemed a master in his years of experience and his ambition running wild. A calm, pathetic, determined look on his face. This man was defeated. The chill to the bone, a chill to the bone. A chill with the smell, a chill will live in the cold. A chill with the smell, a chill to the bone. The chill with the smell, a chill with the smell. A chill with the bone. The expense before, the expensive, visible shivers. Visible shiver life of her right, invisible shivers. And suddenly there was a light, memories of times before the expenses of life priced out normal life. She waited in dreams and pain of her life. the throne. Suddenly in the dark there's appeared a glimmer of hope. Faint glittering sparks and a small crater on the ground. There stood a kind-looking older man, and he was looking around. He was innocent as any innocent child. Seemed a master in his hands appeared a glimmer of hope. Faint glittering sparks and a small crater on the ground. There stood a kind-looking older man. There stood a kind-looking older man, and he was looking around. He was innocent as any innocent child. See the man's in his hands of experience, and his ambition running wild. A complicated, determined look on his face. This man was defeated, this man was clearly put in his place. Inside his heart there was a calm that festered into a storm. A little rat poison square that foiled everything he had built. There he sat in misery, and Martha Mary noticed a pain in her heart. She knew he had gone through a loss. She looked at this pathetic old man. She let him confide, not quite realizing he harbored a creature inside, a cute little lizard that grew in his heart. A life turned to darkness, in his misery confides.
Let me tell you a tale, story in my life. I once was a rich man with all the money in the world, until the day I was cheated, and it seems the times have reversed. I fought so hard to find a place of peace, and it tortured my mind, the having and the losing of a thing. I spent years in the misery of defeat. I sat in tears and I cried my eyes out every night. If it wasn't for Tyler, if it wasn't for that poison squared, I could have the wealth of my happiness with my lizard friends. So for years I have studied science, dark arts and the shadows, and with my associates built a powerful machine. It took quantum computing and the strongest AI. Then one day we cracked it, and I came in the middle of the night. Not 1 second longer, I came to the lab in my pajamas to step into the machine. It felt pleasant at first, and then overwhelming pain. I flew across worlds, I flew like a plane, zipped through space-time, till I arrived here, same place, different time. Back to the past to undo what Tyler's done, and now I'm rich again and can defeat Tyler once and for all. Understand this is my purpose, my drive in this life. I will no longer be pathetic, but shall clutch fate with a knife. Martha Mary just stood there, mouth open in awe. She knew the tides of this world were closing and consuming her heart. Martha Mary just stood there, mouth open in awe. She knew the tides of this world were closing and consuming her heart. Martha Mary just stood there, mouth open in awe. She knew the tides of this world were closing and consuming her heart. Martha Mary just stood there, mouth open in awe. tides of this world were closing and consuming her heart. Martha Mary just stood there, mouth open in awe. She knew the tides of this world were closing and consuming her heart, her heart. Oh, oh. Martha Mary just stood there, mouth open in awe. She knew the tides of this world were closing and consuming her heart. So I'm offering you a job. I want you to play a special part within this plan of mine to answer some calls. We call it customer service. Won't pay you enough for a place to stay, but hey, it's a start. Offering you a job. I want you to play a special part within this plan of mine to answer some calls. We call it customer service. Won't pay you enough for a place to stay, but hey, it's a start. It's a start. It's a start, but hey, it's a start. And so the very next day, Martha Mary May started her work at Lizard Farm. It was a day of training, no idea what else to expect. But little did she know of what would soon be in store. There was an announcement on what used to be profit sharing day, but an announcement instead was about to be made. In the office, some news of big change. They all filed into the auditorium, murmuring to themselves about what they might learn. The powers that be harboring in secret hearts thoughts of laughter and mockery. Victory near complete, swallowed by the tips of vicious greedy fingers. Martha Mary sat there gazing at the screen. She would hear about Tiny Tim, the man who gave it all to save his hopes and his dreams. A man slandered and cheated by a literal time machine. A man who the lizard emperor mistook his name for Tyler. He didn't care enough to learn the name. A man who set the company on fire, flames ignited of hope, and it swelled. He had a mission to save the company and associates as well. There was an announcement on what used to be profit-sharing day, but an announcement instead was about to be made. Some big news in the office, some news of big change. They all filed into the auditorium, murmuring to themselves about what they might learn. The powers that be, harboring in secret hearts thoughts of laughter and mockery. Victory near complete, swallowed by the tips of vicious, greedy fingers. Martha Mary sat there, gazing at the screen. She would hear about Tiny Tim, the man who gave it all to save his hopes and his dreams. Thoughts of laughter and mockery, victory near complete, swell. A man slandered and cheated by a literal time machine. A man who the lizard emperor mistook his name for Tyler. He didn't care enough to learn the name. A man who set the company on fire, flames ignited of hope, and it swelled. He had a mission to save the company and associates as well. A man who the lizard emperor mistook his name for Tyler. He didn't care enough to learn the name of the man who set the company on fire. Flames ignited of hope and it swelled. He had a mission to save the company and associates as well. The power in his soul burned on forever. Winning by cheating isn't victory, no never, no never.
And the screen flickered on and off several times. Martha Mary had to blink to check if she was blind, until there appeared in clear view the precious face and voice of the taught, a thundering voice as if from Mount Sinai. Voice of a false Lord, no Savior here to be found. Just a man consumed by his mad dreams to hold on to his power. And like the lamps of the gas lights flooding up the room, a spark of horror and a certain promise of doom. Just a man consumed by his mad dreams to hold on to his power. And like the lamps of the gas lights flooding up the room, a spark of horror and a certain promise of doom.
Today I have the pleasure to announce some exciting developments here on the farm. Don't get too excited, don't writhe in your pleasure, the thrill of it all, the spell of my words, and don't fall for my charms. Today I have announcements and warnings to give for who tried to ruin us, but that fellow Tiny Tim, don't worry at all, we took care of him. With the bitter holy war we waged against that pathetic guy. His hopes and his dreams, yeah, they died with a crutch. Nothing could save him, not even Rat Poison Squared. Not much will change here, oh no major announcements. Just the fact that we're abolishing all bathroom breaks.
Yeah, you guys took too long in there. I know you went in there to cry. And year after work, we don't want you to leave. In fact, you all can stay here and make a lizard farm a home. All who pass through security abandon all hope. And now Tiny Tim, the traitor, lies dead on the floor, next to his shattered, bright, shiny orb and his doctoral diploma. You'd think once or twice he learned his true lesson. All of you associates must learn this as a lesson. No one can stand up to or oppose the Lizard Emperor. Now I told you there would be AI. Every pin drop and movement will now be online. Monitored and seen, will know what is up. Sneeze, cough, say something I don't like. The algorithm will pick that up. We ranks all you guys with a scoreboard in real time. Every 6 months, we'll terminate the bottom dreaded 25%. And I don't mean with a pink slip, I mean like Hunger Games wit. Don't try to resist, don't call me nasty little names. By the way, with your complaining, you're all best without pay. In fact, staying ain't optional, no longer a suggestion. Stay here where you're safest, and don't you ever question. And while we're working on the AI system to replace you all, no complaints, no whines or demands out of you. In fact, let's raise the standard of excellence percentage to 82. Have fun here while I go chill and relax on my new yacht, enjoying some new wine flavors. And oh, may the odds be ever in your favor. While we're working on the AI system to replace you all, no complaints, no whines or demands out of you. In fact, let's raise the standard of excellence percentage to 82. Have fun here while I go chill and relax on my new yacht, enjoy some new wine flavors. And oh, may the odds be ever in your favor.
And Martha Mary's heart was filled with horror that day. She walked back to her desk and to her surprise, computerized chains appeared on her wrists. If she stepped too far away from her desk, these things would go off. So she was stuck in the eternal workday alone with her tears. No one but God could save her. She knew she'd be a slave here for many years. And what did Martha Mary do but take a pen, start scribing out words with anger, as if with the ink of her heart she still had a soul that not even the Todd could take apart. Start scribing out words with anger, as if with the ink of her heart she still had a soul that not even the Todd could take apart. Sit down and keep your mouth shut. Pretty little things, don't resist, keep your eyes shut. Do the things your heart beholds. A mask you place on me to shield my true nature. A weapon you wielded out of control. The answers I have were never my concern if my mouth stays shut. You want my eyes to stay blind. A voice of concern squelched under your clenched fist. The taught you have destroyed what I fought so hard to grow. I cradle worlds you will never know. I can never drop a pen, can never even breathe, but somehow my light still goes out. Let me go. The taught my fears enter my life uninvited. I never wanted to be here, but have no choice. My beauty taken and abused, and I feel worthless. A life burning out like dying stars. Powerless now, under your terrible weight. The kindness of youth gone and replaced by you. Your shadow follows me everywhere I go. In hallways, in courtyards, in dark alleys, unwelcome touches. I sit here, a dying light, on the operating table of the workplace forever. A dying light inside, bearing its grip on me, holding me tightly. This isn't a workplace. This isn't trust. This is exploitation, manipulation, and death of what was beautiful. What longs to fly away with clipped wings can no longer sit and smile like I'm told. The taste in my mouth of blood, and ask me to be like a machine until you finally replace me with one. There is no time in the world to fill the crater of my soul. Oh, archangel of insurance led me to healing, but the path I can't find. The world treads to hell when its leader is blind.
And so Martha Mary sat at her desk, no rest for the weary, just chains and a computer screen that pissed off. But all of this was suppressed, customers calling back to back. Every single customer had lots of verbal attacks to say to her, and even the soups joined in. For this was a game that Martha Mary could not win. The archangel of insurance would answer no prayers. His gaze now distant, he cannot see this place forsaken by God. And Martha Mary began her downward spiral. No voice, it was stifled, words impossible to express. A place of no power, a place of no rest. With each call that came in, there was a lash at her back. Electric shocks and sparks that yelled at her, answer it, bitch. There was no way to avoid a darkness that filled her, a life torn away, a silence that follows such pain and control. No mercy or patience, just what sucks out the soul. Every mistake she watched in horror as her score on the leaderboard went down. Closer and closer to the danger zone, she began to hallucinate and to feel memories of times long ago. places with friends, and one time spent at home. She drifted off to sleep and fell face first into her desk. Calls kept coming in rapidly, depleting her score. And when she awoke, there was shock in her eyes. The calls had kept coming, even as she was asleep. No way to pause them, no way to stay awake. Customers kept yelling at her even in her dreams. And to her bitter horror, what did she see? Her name fell to the very bottom of the dreaded leaderboard. No hope of advancing or saving her life. No way to escape, the fortress break any chains. Every second was monitored by a watchful AI, and ranked in real time, a control freak's dream, a lizard's true life.
And with a glint in his eye, the Todd walked into the office. But he wasn't alone. He marched in with some lizards who carried him on a throne. He was only there virtually as a computer screen, not the thought to show up to the office. He could only be there as a hologram, less than a human. Just like a phantom, a voice causing panic and strife. The moment his face showed up in the room, the entire service floor booed, and everyone's score dropped by 100 points. A heart and a soul gone from the lizard emperor's anointed hedge fund manager, who turned a good workplace into life lived in hell, lit up the gaslights and forced his faithful to drink the holy Kool-Aid and put their minds to death. And with a glint in his eye, the Todd walked into the office, but he wasn't alone. He marched in with some lizards who carried him on a throne. He was only there virtually as a computer screen, not the thought to show up to the office. He could only be there as a hologram, less than a human. Just like a phantom, a voice causing panic and strife. The moment his face showed up in the room, the entire service floor booed and everyone's score dropped by 100 points. A heart and a soul gone from the lizard emperor's anointed hedge fund manager, who turned a good workplace into life lived in hell, lit up the gaslights and forced his faithful to drink the holy Kool-Aid and put their minds to death. The holy Kool-Aid and put their minds to death. The holy Kool-Aid and put their minds to death. The holy Kool-Aid and put their minds to death. Special announcement to all on the floor. Pretty soon we won't need you anymore. That's right, you'll be terminated. We're talking Hunger Games style, fun times to be had. You'll be replaced with AI. I don't wanna hear one peep or any of you cry. We all live and we lose. Life is metamorphosis, change is the music of life. And now you have new overlords. You will all be controlled by mechanical lizards. They'll roam this office, checking to see if you go out of line. Right now we're testing them, they'll start taking some calls. We'll slowly start replacing you, starting with the bottom. We'll keep 1% and the rest will be replaced with AI. Drive up my profit margin, pesky salaries get in the way. So suck up yourselves and work for me harder. May the odds be ever in your favor, you sad motherfuckers. Life is metamorphosis, change is the music of life. And now you have new overlords. You will all be controlled by mechanical lizards. They'll roam this office, overlords. You will all be controlled by mechanical lizards. They'll roam this office, checking to see if you go out of line. Right now we're testing them, start taking some calls. We'll slowly start replacing you, starting with the bottom. We'll keep 1% and the rest will be replaced with AI. Drive up my profit margin, pesky salaries get in the way. So suck up yourselves and work for me harder. May the odds be ever in your favor, you sad motherfuckers.
Then the machines came from the shadows, started patrolling the office, looking for any signs of resistance. Martha Mary just sat there, unbelief on her face. She was last on the leaderboard. She would be the first one they would take. In her heart she echoed a bitter prayer. But would the winds of the spirit take it anywhere? Or would it be lost in the sands of lost time? Lost prayers in the sky, never reaching anywhere but hell, where hopeless feelings meet the lost souls and never escape. The automated lizard agent started taking some calls. The customers kept complaining to no real person at all. The automated lizard agent started taking some calls. The customers kept complaining to no real person at all. The automated lizard agent started taking some calls. The customers kept complaining to no real person at all. Then the machines came from the shadows, started patrolling the office, looking for any signs of resistance. Martha Mary just sat there, unbelief on her face. She was last on the leaderboard. She would be the first one they would take. But deep in her heart she echoed a bitter prayer. But would the winds of the spirit take it anywhere? Or would it be lost in the sands of lost time? Lost prayers in the sky, never reaching anywhere but hell, where hopeless
some calls. The customers kept complaining to no real person at all. The automated lizard agent started taking some calls. The customers kept complaining to no real person at all. The automated lizard agent started taking some calls. The customers kept complaining to no real person at all. The customers kept complaining to no real person at all. The automated lizard agents. The automated lizard agent started taking some calls. The customers kept complaining to no real person at all. The automated lizard agent started taking some calls. The customers kept complaining to no real person at all. The automated lizard.
Want to speak with a human being? Give me a robot and I'll scream. And then answer the automated agent. Beep bop, let me know how I can help you, please. Johnny customer yelled back, I wanna talk to a person. You can't be for real. And the automated agent said,
are you saying AI aren't people? That's discriminatory. What's your deal?
you see, little bitch, you don't have any other choice.
Lizard Farm bought up every other insurance that you can choose from. Have fun leaving the country. Find a beach where there's sun.
Of time, take us through tunnels what chases precious glow, hoping to find what gives us hope. Mother Mary's heart was shattered during lunch break. She couldn't move her butt, so they dragged her to the lunchroom, where the sadness and gloom flooded her face. The world falling apart, a wound too deep to heal, a life that no longer feels so bitter, chaotic pangs. Suddenly a man approached, noticing the tears in her eyes. The flashing lights of time take us through tunnels where chases precious glow, hoping to find what gives us hope. Mother Mary's heart was shattered during lunch break. During lunch broke. Mother Mary's heart was shattered during lunch break. During lunch break, she couldn't move her butt, so they dragged her to the lunchroom, where the sadness and gloom flooded her face. The world falling apart, a wound too deep to heal, a life that no longer feels through bitter, chaotic pains. Suddenly a man approached, noticing the tears in her eyes. The nurse
I noticed that your strength is failing. Here's a hot towel to your forehead. It will help with the sickness. We must act with all quickness before the gallipots circle again and hear out every word. We have the power to clean up this corporation, to carve through the wounds it caused, to break free through the brittle windows, escape this place, a free bird like the wind, to fly away. It's gusts sweeping us to distant lands. Take this device, clench it tight. The moment you hear the ringing bell, I need you to run fast like all hell. Out the back gate, the doors will open their way for you to the free and open world. Notice that your strength is failing. Here's a hot towel to your forehead. Will help with the sickness. We must act with all quickness before the gyropods circle again and hear out every word. We have the power to clean up this corporation, to carve through the wounds it caused, to break free through the brittle windows and escape this place, a free bird like the wind, to fly away. It's gusts sweeping us to distant lands. Take this device, clench it tight. The moment you hear the ringing bell, I need you to run fast like all hell. Out the back gate, the doors will open their way for you to the free and open world. It's gusts sweeping us to distant lands. Take this device, clench it tight. The moment you hear the ringing bell, I need you to run fast like all hell. Out the back gate, the doors will open their way for you to the free and open world. An open world. Mary stood there with no words to say, a weight on her shoulders pushing her down, a pain like drops of rain from the sky would follow her around for the rest of her life. But the spirit of a bird song somehow filled up her brain, leading her somewhere to the bright open day, calling her to beauty of freedom, raptured by its swell. The moment she heard the ring of the bell, she made a mad dash like the force of all hell, a surrender to a deeper spirit inside, a creature that always longs to survive. The gates and they opened wide, hotly pursued by the gyropods. She didn't care. There was new joy in her heart and sunlight in her hair. As the life above was greater than any below, the world of ecstasy would light up her soul. A hollow shell to a home, a freedom is power, a joy that increases, finds its place in the world hour by hour. She made a mad dash like the force of all hell, a surrender to a deeper spirit inside, a creature that always longs to survive. She fled out the gates and they opened wide, hardly
joy in her heart, and sunlight in her hair. Oh, her hair in her hair. She ran until she could no longer hear those vicious spinning wheels pursuing her through the city. She caught her breath and burst out laughing in her moment of rest, knowing so deeply there was a place inside where truth and the wind's breath collide. She climbed the steps of the Lizard Museum with clenched fists and anger and pain reminisced. She stood there before pictures and images of a throne, and a man who loved to buy companies while sipping his coke. Power amassed, but slowly over time, no way for him to stop it. In fact, to the danger of power he was blind. But greater still is another unseen threat of silent words written so softly in the dark. Words of poems that will surgically take his world apart and show him the things that composed all its parts. The power of a burning heart of fire, ready to consume whatever darkness and spit it out in a different form, changed forever after a single touch of the pot's sharp blade. A skill as a surgeon, precisely directed. Truths of the heart now clear and reflected. Pools of water that echo whatever possible world. Martha Mary thought all this too. Stood there before pictures and images of a throne, and a man who loved to buy companies while sipping his coke. Power amassed, but slowly over time, no way for him to stop it. Back to the danger of power, he was blind. But greater still is another unseen threat. Silent words written so softly in the dark. Words of poems that will surgically take his world apart and show him the things that composed all its parts. The power of a burning heart of fire, ready to consume whatever darkness and spit it out in a different form, changed forever after a single touch of the pot's sharp blade. A skill as a surgeon, precisely directed. Truths of the heart now clear and reflected. Pools of water that echo whatever possible world. Martha Mary thought all this too.
So many possible futures, I see them all now, in which failure is certain and we are thrust into the ground. But somewhere there is a light, a narrow way through, leading us from skies of gray to skies of blue. Ooh, ooh, ooh. wandering around like in the halls of lost time. With each step she seemed to lose her mind. Thoughts brought back to that man, Tiny Tim. Wondering what really happened to him. Had he really found a path to the light? A little rat poison square had won the good fight, so she walked back outside and felt the light of the day. Museum doors swinging open, opening a path, a way out of the darkness, a way to a home at last. A path to the light. A little rat poison squared had won the good fight, so she walked back outside and felt the light of the day. Museum doors swinging open, opening a path, a way out of the darkness, a way to a home at last. Wandering around like in the halls of lost time.
As Martha Mary May walked down Woolworth Avenue, she saw people in the streets holding up signs, chanting their protests, demanding what they were denied. The Lizard Company buying up properties and raising the prices, a practice they hated, led by a man who exuded vices. Chanting such slogans that Martha Mary understood in their spirit, a determination to fight the spirit of bankruptcy. I'm not talking financially, I'm talking about the soul. No one can be so depraved without paying the toll. For the rich man shall not find the path, no way for his victory. No one can be so depraved without paying a toll. For the rich man shall not find the path, no way for his victory. A world upside down, he will be nothing to history. Just a mark on a map that will be soon burned away. A blotch misleading people, never giving those in need any raise. A patience, but to him a twisting, no path to the light. A corporation encompassed by eternal night. And so the people gathered, and together they sang songs for the future, songs the Beatles wrote, Songs of love, like hymns to the truth. The future passes away, like even dust in the wind. All that we'll remember is the love we held within. And so there approached a brave man to the podium. He had words to say, and his truth was outspoken. He pulled his hair from his face and began to speak. He was so young, but his wisdom was unmatched. A protester, a poet, words no longer on a leash.
Friends, we stand here at the precipice of a choice each day. The time we have been given is precious. Unlimited power in our hands. Tragedies happen, but we must never forget Tiny Tim. What he sacrificed for truth in unwavering faith. A little rat poison squared was to the lizard emperor like a wraith. A boogeyman of truth, someone to blame. But sound monetary policy is nothing but life in all its honesty. Impossible to cheat someone with money that's sound. The lizard company is truly bankrupt, bereft of all love. It's time, it's current, all these things passing away. All we can do is hold heads up high and greet the new days as they come, one moment at a time. Walk with your eyes open and enjoy the simple things in life. A world where bitter people lie, cheat and steal is a world where we are deprived of the things we love most. What we really need is to pay attention to the eternal spirits that seem to thrive here like ghosts. No way to ignore them or chase them away. Like our voices in chaos, they're always the same. Even if history doesn't grant us this victory, eternity will ask us, and we shall answer its call, telling the world we were honest against even those who seem too big to fall.
In the distance there appeared quite a pack of riot gear wearing wolves. They were supposed to attack, to ruin and freedom, to ruin any sign of fun. Three voices were cheering, and the Mr. Silverstein urged them to remain calm. Mary just stood there, caught up in the crowd, when chaos ensued and encircled her all around. Panicked voices whipped up into a mighty tornado. A life in its ocean, surrounded by uncertainty, as tear gas flooded the atmosphere. Martha Mary fell like a phantom.
Martha Mary, you must be strong, for the fate of all worlds are turning. Be a force for good, here and wield your light like a sword. For lizards and stuff of nightmares thrive in the darkness and bask in their control. A Neanderthal with them, and an annoying camel too. But against all these nightmares you must endure a secret fire within your heart, and its song will implore God back to the office and challenge the Todd to an epic rap battle, a battle of song. It is the only way to defeat him, to lead the people to victory. This will inspire something magical, a Bitcoin trust fund in honor of Tiny Tim, who fought with Rat Poison Square. But when all of us invest in it together, they better be scared. Saving up money in a trust with rules that will change the rules when it buys up the company. $2 trillion is nothing, and fiat is quite ruthless. The wrath of the Fremen when lizard stock drops to nothing. The controversy has caused a stir. The other day it dipped to $50 a pop, and that was what caused Robin Hood to pause it, the selling of the stock. But together all associates will have power over the villains of our lives. Take this message to heart. I am not even alive, I am quite a ghost, but I died a free man. So in fact, I am still alive, never betraying my values, always true to my friends. Stand up for what you believe, it's the only way this ends. You see over there, both to see it, a vision of a young boy selling cokes on the street. A man who had a vision to buy up some stock, but he let the stock turn to darkness and flow through his veins. But this won't happen to us if we buy it, only to give it away. The vision is fading, but have strength in my arms, the arms of a phantom holding you up. Go inspire the lizard slaves and do not give up. Heart for it, the arms of a visionary is where all revolution starts.
Just like a mockingjay, a holy war that approaches, you'll lead them to freedom one day.
You are the symbol, just like a mockingjay, a holy war that approaches, you'll lead them to freedom one day. Just like a mockingjay, a holy war that approaches, you'll lead them to freedom one day. like a mockingjay. A holy war that approaches, you'll lead them to freedom one day. Lead them to freedom one day. Martha Mary wasn't quite certain how to lose, and though she was piece of the future, a sweet hymn to love filled up her soul and offered her compassion. It told her there might be hope, and now she lay alone on the floor of the street. Empty bottles and smashed windows all around her. This world turned to darkness, monopoly control. A pain in her heart, finally taking its toll. Taxing her to death, taking everything it could, until she had nothing left except for a song deep inside. A hymn for the dead and a hymn for all here alive. Martha Mary wasn't quite certain how delusional she was, a piece of the future, a sweet hymn to love filled up her soul and offered her compassion. It told her there might be hope, and now she lay alone on the floor of the street. Empty bottles and smashed windows all around her. This world turned to darkness and monopoly control. A pain in her heart, finally taking its toll. Taxing her to death, taking everything it could, until she had nothing left. Its world turned to darkness and monopoly control. A pain in her heart, finally taking its toll. Taxing her to death, taking everything it could, until she had nothing left except for a song deep inside. A hymn for the dead, a hymn for all your love, your life. As Mickey Mouse walked away, Martha Mary begged him to stay. He told her to follow him as he walked into the mist. A kiss of the vapor, a light of some flames. This was a true vision, a dangerous game. She saw so many visions. She saw Lizard Emperor as a kid, on every street corner selling bottles of Coke. She now knew that being free was more important than life, for consolidation of bitter power can happen faster than you can blink. Then suddenly the vision changed. She saw the Todd on his new yacht, trying some new wine flavors he was boasting about. She saw how pathetic and useless he was with how he treated those under his spell. A bitter, desperate anthem then began to swell inside Martha Mary's veins, calling her to sing it in the bitter sands of time. The vision once again changed, and she saw thousands of associates shouted Tiny Tim's name, gathered together against all lizard games. This world had to change, there was a power inside. She wasn't delusional, she knew she had to fight. The holy war would commence, but it would start with a song, an epic rap battle to right all the wrongs that for so many years had plagued them under lizard control. Half of a heart becomes half of a soul, a life bent and tortured but fixed on a single goal: to buy up the company, to gain complete control, bring it to its knees and leave and never come back. Find a home and place where she could rest and laugh at this pain. empty space, Martha Mary began to sing a true hymn to love, a poem composed in her mind. Right there on the spot, a wrecking ball to lizard corporations, and a light in this dark. Martha Mary began to sing a true hymn to love, a poem composed in her mind. Right there on the spot, a wrecking ball to lizard corporations, and a light in this dark. Space, Martha Mary began to sing a true hymn to love, a poem composed in her mind. Right there on the spot, a wrecking ball to lizard corporations, and a light in this dark, and a light in this dark, and a light in this dark.
Salvation, a call from the land, an edge of a life, a pain in my numb brain, an empty place. Where the flood fills all the world in bitter spaces completely. Lead me back to beauty someday, that which nothingness temperature and its currents, its bottomless seas, its tremendous wealth of shadows draws me closer to salvation. A call from the lamp, an edge of a light, a pain in my numb brain, an empty place.
She rubbed her eyes and realized she had to go back and face reality, an echo of truth. So she walked back to the office where all the lizard slaves dwelled. She walked there with speakers blaring, epic rap beats, diss tracks of the century. Vicious and unstopping, its power complete, booming throughout the street. As she approached, she just stood there, outside the building. She stopped and stared them down. She spoke up with a loud voice, demanding an audience with the taunt, saying he could never resist a rap battle. He could never resist a challenge or the thrill of yacht life. Martha Mary still stood there, a blank look on her face. And the Todd rushed to the monitor with glee on his face. She rubbed her eyes and realized she had to go back and face reality, an echo of truth. So she walked back to the office where all the lizard slaves dwelled. She walked there with speakers blaring, epic rap beats, diss tracks of the century. Vicious and unstopping, its power complete, booming throughout the street. As she approached, she just stood there, outside the building. She stopped and stared them down. She spoke up with a loud voice, demanding an audience with the taunt, saying he can never resist a rap battle. He can never resist a challenge or the thrill of yacht life. Martha Mary still stood there, a blank look on her face. And the Todd rushed to the monitor with glee on his face. And the Todd rushed to the monitor with glee on his face.
And the boss gets small, right on top of her head. She's drowning in chaos, her filled up the air. No one can see her, but as the smoke cleared, she walked out unharmed and continued to demand a rap battle with the Todd. The Todd got so angry and demanded they fire every shot that they had at her, but she just would die. So he knew what he had to do, go downstairs and confront her, surrounded by associates. As a long protect and the bombs get tall, right on top of her head. She drowned in the chaos and it filled up the air. No one could see her, but as the smoke cleared, she walked out unharmed and continued to demand a rap battle with the Todd. The Todd got so angry and demanded they fire every shot that they had at her, but she just wouldn't die. So he knew what he had to do: go downstairs and confront her. Surrounded by associates as a wall of protection. So the Todd approached with his associates behind him. There was a vicious pain that was deep inside him, telling him to run. He could never win this battle, and Martha Mary stood there shaking the speakers like a rattle. She asked to go first and then commenced the rap battle. As a wall of protection, so the Todd approached with his associates behind him. There was a vicious pain that was deep inside him, telling him to run. He could never win his battle, and Martha Mary stood there shaking the speakers like a rattle. She asked to go first and then commenced the rap battle.
But as she stood there about to drop some bars, there came someone from the street, a man on a mission, a man named Kendrick B. He approached and demanded to challenge the Todd. He looked deep in the eyes of that demented false god. Martha Mary agreed, but then the Todd said, "That's not fair, I need a champion. I need someone with some skill, because I'm a CEO, I have no rapping skill. I ain't even a poet, I never learned how to rhyme. I never even tried to, just never had the time." And out of the crowd there came the Todd's replacement in this rap confrontation, a man with some skill. It was the Lizard himself. He approached with his swag and his bling and his New Zealand accent. He tapped to the beat, but his bars wouldn't relent. There came the Todd's replacement in his rap confrontation, a man with some skill. It was the Lizard himself. He approached with his swag and his bling and his New Zealand accent. He tapped to the beat, but his bars wouldn't relent. And out of the crowd there came the Todd's replacement in this rap confrontation, a man with some skill. It was the Lizard himself. He approached with his swag and his bling and his New Zealand accent. He tapped to the beat, but his bars wouldn't relent.
Yo, I used to say this nonsense about 50%, but now I'm free to say whatever the fuck I want. But the mask comes off, I have some ambitions as well. Once in a lifetime a lizard has a chance, looking cute at first glance, but what I wanted was to be a king. I'm the king of the lizards, you'll all be my slaves. You're stuck here, you can't think, you can't even move. While I'm here dropping bars, you're stuck chained to earth, while my eyes are on the stars and the infinity gauntlet I hold in my hands. Snap my fingers like Thanos and watch 6% go. Vanish in an instant and we'll fire the rest. My pen is vicious, I've got a spell to my flow. Now speak for yourself, you sad little hoe. Ho, ho, ho. Hide behind Kendrick B, he can't save you today. His bars aren't at my level, his last album was lame. Now take it from a lizard, I'm a cold-blooded animal. You can't even stomach me, my words are your funeral. You look like a rapper, but you stand there like a goat. A pathetic man beyond his prime. Take your ticket and go, survival of the fittest. You guys can't even pay rent. money that we can count. I don't mean to boast, I don't mean to brag. Every note that you offered filled up my bank account. Quite a rich lizard, you're all really working for me. Go back to your own place while I make history. Come at me, bro, let's hear some good bars. Your last 3 albums were trash and you should take that to heart.
Was born with a pen in my hand and a heart driven insane. A love and power, a spark in my brain. I'm here for my friends. Develop this fellowship to rise again against what will fade away with the dust. I was cold on a mission, Tom Cruise. I live like an angel, but I sing the blues. Not impossible, I'm pointing the way to paradise in a world with no one to raise the bar, so I do it myself, saving the day. Superman jumping over Mammon in a single bound, taking the power just to lay it down. In memory of Tiny Tim who laid his life down. You die a martyr or you will become a villain. I'm here to tell you there aren't only 2 options. Life is a game and love is put up for auction. Man versus machine, enemies we created ourselves. Our hearts burning within for truth. A venom is sweet to those who take it, but yeah, I'd rather just ignore the evil that pollutes this world and put my eyes to stars. Gazing forever in passion, I have a dream that we freed all the slaves. Moses opened the Red Sea, wasted no time gazing at beautiful waves. You were nothing but a slave to money, time consumed by the search for what could never satisfy me or flood me deeper with hope. I would rather be a simple goat than a green little lizard sitting on a throne. Bankrupt, not a king, no way back in the darkness. Blocked forever, it's the path back home. Broken forever, with no power but taken from those most in need. You expected some venom, well my venom is sweet. The change to the world is coming, one simple spark at a time. A broken heart, a hand in need. Be there for those who have nothing to eat. Anyone who plays this game will lose. Lay down your power, think of forever you choose. Anyone who plays this game will lose. Lay down your power, think of forever you choose.
And all in the room witness a slow burn. As the lizard rolled back, he rolled back in defeat. His infinity gauntlet, clearly unsnappable. All in the room could see it. It was no longer deniable. So the associates burst out laughing. Kendrick B had won the rap battle. He really won the battle without a single blow. His bars were subliminal, they weren't as direct, but they echoed more truth. They hit their target exactly. The associates lifted him up and paraded him around the office. The rebellion was off, and they overthrew lizard overlords, robot and living. They all ran away. They showered praise on Martha Mary that day for her bravery. Would now lead to a holy war to free the rest of the company. With a little Bitcoin trust fund, she would lead them to paradise, with or without Tiny Tim. but his vision had never died. It lived forever here. That day would be forever known as the battle, the song, a message for the future, for those who into love headlong. The path to paradise was paved. All they had to do was walk the path. They walked the road of love and laid down their wrath.
This is an epic after-credits scene. Somewhere at the headquarters in Chevy Chase, Maryland, there was a thunderstorm and rain falling from the sky. The Tawn marched past for security and up to the top of the tower, where all the executives were at a meeting. A chair was facing away toward the sky. It slowly turned around, revealing the Lizard Emperor, disappointment and wrath swelling on his face. The dude, you have disappointed me for the last time. You failed to contain this little pesky rebellion. Now I can't sleep at night, and one thing is worse, Tiny Tim is alive. The Todd's face opened up in shock. It was hard to believe. How could he be alive? He was sure Tiny Tim was dead, but then he thought to himself, they had to come up with a strategy before the lizard slaves were able to save up enough BTCs. This is just as I feared. A darkness encroaches. The Lizard Emperor said those words as lighting lit up the room, filling hearts with fear and signing a dark tune. But then he turned and looked the Todd straight in the eyes. Look at this document, it's Lizard Farm 2. Now the whole world knows about us. Believe me, we're through. And then the Todd replied with a glint in his eye. Not so fast, I won't let that fiend fuck up my life, not a second time. The Todd led Lizard Emperor to a basement office where they kept all their weapons and secret concoctions. When they flung open the door, who did they see but a confused little Neanderthal wearing a polo shirt, ready to take on the rebellion and put them in the dirt. There was a look of an evil laugh when he saw them. He arched his head back and laughed in their faces. Yes, it's just as I feared. A darkness encroaches. The Lizard Emperor said those words as lightning lit up the room, filling hearts with fear and signing a dark tune. But then he turned and looked the Todd straight in the eyes. Look at this document, it's Lizard Farm 2. Now the whole world knows about us. Believe me, we're through. And then the Todd replied with a glint in his eye. Not so fast, I won't let that thing fuck up my life, not a second time. The Todd led Lizard Emperor to a basement office where they kept all their weapons and secret concoctions. When they flung open the door, who did they see but a confused little Neanderthal wearing a polo shirt, ready to take on the rebellion, put them in the dirt. There was a look of an evil laugh when he saw them. He arched his head back and laughed in their faces.